Tom Tancredo here with Cori and Andy Pate, the regular Thursday night crew. And as I say, I know it's approaching the witching hour of the Bronco game. However, it's going to be a lousy game, and we're going to win by... You can tune in the last quarter and see everything that you're going to need to see. So hang in there with us till 7 o'clock anyway. And don't forget, go online to RockyMountainHeist.com. You'll see how you can get a hold of that. Had a great event last night, and a lot of people there. I hope this is widely distributed because, we need to show people how what the other side has done to take over the politics in Colorado and what they're doing everywhere. And one of the things they're doing, of course, is, and they've done this so successfully, they divide America into victimized camps. You're either ethnically disadvantaged and victimized, or sexually victimized, or linguistic, or poverty. You name it, there's a camp we can put you in and blame the man for it. And when you do that, then you create this perfect group of you put an electoral base that you can go to, round them all up at election time, saying, okay, you know what how you've been victimized, and therefore you can vote for us because we'll address each one of those particular grievances. You'll be okay. You'll be better. We'll take care of you. And it sells, Cori and Andy. It sells so well. And what our task is to grab hold of this debate to the extent that we can, grab hold of the argument and make a better one. I said last time I was on the show with Chris that I quoted Margaret Thatcher, who said, before you win an election, you have to win the argument. And we need to get that argument out there, and that's what you guys are doing. And as far as I'm considering, it's God's work in this endeavor. You wanted to talk tonight, I understand, specifically about race relations and how conservatives can address that issue, the topic, and not sound like the things we're called all the time.
Exactly.
Okay, well, let's do it.
Okay, well, this is a huge issue. I mean, let's think about this. 95% of Black Americans voted for Obama. Look at what's happening in Ferguson. Is that about race, or is it about evidence nowadays? It's about race.
Race.
The evidence, either way, nobody cares. All right? I mean, really, all people care about is the race of the people who were involved. And how do they respond to conservatives in general? When they hear that you're a conservative, you're a Republican.
You're racist. Yeah,
you're a racist. You're a terrible person. You know, the biggest problem about this is not that, that we lose elections because of it. That's terrible. The biggest problem is that there is a wall between us and millions of wonderful people. And that is wrong. And they are so much more conservative than what they think they are.
Oh, they absolutely are. It was so funny. A couple months ago, I was at the gym, and this black man struck up a conversation with me. I don't know why, but he just was in a chatty mood. And he started talking about how he works with inner city youth. He himself grew up in inner city San Francisco, and it was just a horrible neighborhood. As he grew up, he watched his friends get killed or thrown in jail, and none of them are left now. And so he was going on and on about how he wanted to see that change, and how he was out there talking to kids about personal responsibility and saving their money and making sure that they weren't out having kids that they couldn't take care of. And I mean, he just went on and on. This was about a 45-minute conversation. And then he told me that all white men hate Obama because he's black.
Oh, brother, after all that.
Yeah. And so it was an interesting conversation because I spent 6 years working with high-risk youth in inner city Denver. And so we really hit it off on the whole nutrition and exercise and education and all of that. And so as we were talking, of course, I kind of pushed back on that comment because my husband is a white man who doesn't hate Obama because he's black.
I'm white?
I know.
Why didn't you tell him? Now you tell him.
I know,
all
now
this time.
he knows.
Well, that changes my entire presentation.
Exactly. I know it.
I know. But it was just really interesting because everything that he was talking about and everything that he supported and taught was conservative to the core. But yet he was out there campaigning for Obama.
Wow. Well, that brings up the ultimate, well, I don't know if it's the ultimate issue, but a big problem, and that is the way they look at us and the way we look at them, and the way I've just described it, us and them. This is a problem. It's not just us. I have to tell you, when Manning reached not just reached the goal, but he surpassed it. 509. And, Manning to Demaryius Thomas, right? And there was this great, huge, everybody got so exuberant, and they ran and they hugged. And you saw this white man and this black man ecstatic about what had just happened, hugging in front of millions and millions of people. And I thought to myself, if only that was the way in which we all could relate. It was, we had accomplished something, these two together. There wasn't a thought about one was white and one was black. At least, I don't think so. But on the other hand, it is, look how much right now did you hear what happened today? They released somebody from, I can't think of the guy's name right now, unfortunately, but the Seattle Seahawks released a player today. And they did so because he said he was causing so much dissension in the locker room.
Percy Harvin?
Yeah. And the reason why was because, it turns out, the quarterback, apparently, is
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson is not quite black enough.
Well, he's, white and black parents.
That's right.
He's from Wisconsin.
Not only that, he speaks articulately. He presents himself in a way that makes the other people on the team, blacks on the team, apparently, this is what the report was today, say he's not black, he's not down for the struggle, he's not one of the brothers. And so it's caused all this dissension. And one of the guys that's the most upset about it is the one they cut loose today, because he was causing all this problem, saying that the quarterback, he doesn't take enough responsibility on himself. I mean, now, my gosh, here we are on one hand, as I say, we have this great game where black and white get together and you can and celebrate and hug, and and the other hand, you've got this horrible undercurrent of racism that it permeates even the locker rooms in the NFL.
It can at times, I guess. I got to be honest. Russell Wilson is a very eloquent young man. I got to be honest. He's pretty boring when he talks. Well, he is. It's so yes sir, no sir, milk drinking, and I mean, right. Kind of a boring guy. A very nice guy, incredibly nice. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm a huge Green Bay Packer fan. People know this. My team isn't very good, but I love them. We have a great quarterback.
You had such a hard time putting those earphones over that big piece of cheese on
exactly. I know they don't fit.
Yeah, it doesn't look right.
Well, it's better than over your helmet.
Well, that's true.
Here's what's great.
He wants me, by the way, what he's referring to is my motorcycle helmet, which is right behind it, and he suggests he'd become more comfortable if I had that on during our conversation.
I just thought it would add a stormtrooper effect to this whole thing, but
I try my best to do that even without the helmet.
Let me tell you something cool that happens in Green Bay every time we score.
Everything is cool in Green Bay because it's freezing your butt off.
But this is wonderful. Virtually all the wide receivers. One of them is white. Most of them are black. Two are white. And the running backs are black. Whenever somebody in Green Bay scores, except for Aaron Rodgers because he can't jump that high, whenever anybody scores in Green Bay, they leap into the crowd. It's called the Lambeau Leap. Uh-huh. And it's been there now for a long time, a couple decades, I think. And racism basically died in Green Bay when that began, because it was wonderful. Young black men leaping into the arms of a white crowd, and everybody hurt, loving it. Yeah. Everybody loving it.
It happened last
Except
game.
Sometimes you get beer on your jersey.
Well, but why is it then we can forget all about it at that moment in time? But does that mean that we really are getting together? Does that mean that really and truly these barriers are coming down between the races? And we'll answer that question when we come back. This is Tom Tancredo with Andy and let's see, who was the other one? Oh, yeah, Cori.